All right, guys, well, I'm back today with a versus video, a comparison video between the two most popular micro EDC mini toolboxes I've seen on the market. The Kobalt is available at Lowe's in a ton of different color variations, and I actually noticed a quality difference from last year's model to this year's model, which we'll talk about in a second, and the brand new Harbor Freight US General mini toolbox that was just released and will be on sale for Black Friday. Now, both of these are currently in stock, and the asking price for the Kobalt is right around $20, a little bit cheaper than last year, I believe, but I think that's also because the quality could be a touch cheaper. That's my humble opinion. We'll get to that in a second. The US General retails for $17.99 and again has a Black Friday sale already scheduled. And to catch the Harbor Freight Black Friday video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that opportunity. Now, for all intents and purposes, $2 is not going to make or break me on a purchase of this type. I'm going to purchase the one that is better, not the one that's $2 cheaper. But I'm afraid that the US General, guys, are not afraid. It just is what it is going to be a little bit better. And kind of let's explain why and show you guys a direct comparison. So they are the exact same height. They seem like they're the exact same depth. And we will check the width. They are the exact same width, and I don't believe that is a coincidence. I believe the US General is a direct competitor to the Kobalt, and when you pull them out of the box, you feel the Kobalt, you feel the US General, and the US General just feels like a better fit and finish, and it is a better fit and finish. Let's take a look at the lids. When you open the Kobalt, it completely folds all the way back. The US General actually stops and is a very tight-fitting hinge, so it doesn't just flop down on your hand. You have to deliberately pull it past that 90 degree, and then you can close it. The next thing to notice is listen to what it sounds like when you close. Here's the Kobalt. Here's the US General. The US General actually has rubberized pads right here that make impact before the top lid completely closes, whereas the Kobalt is just, again, bent sheet metal. I love the US General because of the way that the lid stays up, and it just feels better when it comes to the lid in general, so I'm already liking the US General. Now, the other thing is the US General includes this neoprene or foam pad in each of the drawers and the chop tray. The Kobalt does not. The drawers themselves are going to be a different feel as well. When you pull this out, you can hear it grind. It slides. Also, it slides around because there's no rubberized feet, where there are rubberized feet on the US General. So when you pull that drawer out, you pull it out and the toolbox stays there. You don't have to put your hand on the toolbox. Whereas if you go to pull the Kobalt, it is going to slide around and the drawers don't feel great. Now, I was wondering why the drawers felt like this because I don't remember them feeling like that. And I tried all three of my Kobalt toolboxes I picked up last year, and I didn't have this issue. These drawers seem to be a little bit flimsier. They don't seem to be as good of a quality when it comes to pulling them out and in. And that's honestly not a deal breaker for a mini toolbox. Like, I wasn't complaining before because it was great. You just kind of held on to it, you pulled it out, and it did just fine. But again, this is going to kind of slide around. Also, when you close the drawers, you could see they're kind of wobbly back and forth, and then you just kind of close them. These drawers, one finger, and you can push one finger on either side, and they close, and you can see the toolbox just stay still. Let's try that with a Kobalt. Yeah, not happening. They're going to want to bind up, and they're going to want to see, they're going to want to lock up on you and then slam shut. So, whole different feel to them. And again, we were talking about $17.99. The other thing to note is, watch this. It'll get to a point, and then it'll auto just pull in and click. It feels like a magnet back there, or like a overhead cam detent type of system. I have a feeling it's a magnet. But even when you break that feel of the cam, detent, or magnet, the toolbox stays there. Now, when it comes to dimensions, these seem to be exactly the same. When it comes to the internal drawers, you're looking at about 9 inches there, and you were looking at about touch under 9 inches. I believe that's because the track system's slightly different. I'd rather lose like the 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch for the better feel especially too when this is on your nightstand. So if you are filling this up with EDC items, especially when you lift this up to grab something and it just falls over like that, where the US General just stays up. For me in the mornings, I'm going to start picking out my EDCs. So I'm going to look at my options, going to lift this up, and I really don't feel like holding this lid up while I'm doing it, and you can see it just kind of slipped off. I want to be able to lift this up and start searching for my EDC options without waking up my wife in the mornings when I'm picking up something, if I'm leaving early to go to work or something like that. Now, this just makes much better sense. Even at full retail, it's much better. I'd rather pay $30 for this than $20 for this once I felt it, especially if you're just getting one. It's not going to make the break, but this is $17.99. And again, Black Friday specials are coming up at Harbor Freight. Now, Kobalt, I don't believe they're going to be doing Black Friday deal on this. I believe that $19.99 is the Black Friday or just standard pricing for that. Now, this is not a knock on the Kobalt. The Kobalt has been great. It's been working out great. I have really no complaints about the ones I have until I picked up this US General and I realized just the immense quality difference on the two of them. Now, with that being said, you guys make up your own minds. I think the only advantage to the Kobalt would be they have a lot more cool color variations. They've got a ton of color variations, and a lot of times color matters to people when it comes to those color variations for their matching EDCs. But for me, I'm kind of retiring, purchasing the Kobalts unless something changes, and I'm switching over to purchasing the US Generals, especially on Black Friday if they're still around when I get back into the store. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for suggesting this, guys. A lot of guys were telling me to go buy this. I've been looking. Called in today. They had them. I think they're worth every penny, and I think you should grab some too. But I also don't think you need to throw out your Kobalt toolboxes. I don't know if it's worth going out and throwing this out to buy this. These work just fine. I've actually put little rubberized feet on most of mine that are a dime a dozen on Amazon. So anyways, I just figured I'd show you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.